Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is yet another beautiful day here in lovely downtown Honolulu, Hawaii, as the U.S. mainland and I guess the rest of North America, or even the rest of north of the equator, moves into winter. Here we are yet again in another beautiful sunny Honolulu afternoon. So I hope you are well wherever you are here on this November 11th, 2020. And on our group ride today, I had yet another experience of an ongoing, I'm not going to call it a problem because it isn't really a problem. It's just, I guess lack of experience, right? And it usually has to do with flat tires here in Hawaii, which we have a giant problem with, due to our horrendous roads, especially here on the island of Oahu. I think we are rated as some of the worst roads in the entire nation of the United States. And it usually has to do with, well, anything that has to do with changing a flat tire on a road bicycle. I often see it's just lack of experience, and that's fine, right? And like I was telling this gentleman that was having a little difficulty today, when I started, nobody really tried to show me. And when you're out on the road, there isn't really time for that. People are usually rushing or whatever. But I don't remember anybody ever trying to tell me, hey man, check it out, here's how you can do this, right? At that time, I might have even been self-conscious and kind of rushing myself and might not have been listening or whatever. And that's why these days, that's why I'm doing these videos, because I think it's so cool that, when we have this experience out on the road, I can say, oh hey, I've done a video on that. Well, how about you go check out the video? And in this case, it had to do with inflating tires, right? And I'm not sure if this gentleman's hand pump was broken. I have no idea what was going on, but it was taking forever. And usually whether the hand pump is working or not, if it seems like the flatty is struggling with inflating their tires, I'll always be the first to whip out my CO2 inflator and say, hey, let's just get this done and get going. It's better for all of us. And I never see anybody else doing that, even though I know probably 95% of people have CO2 on them. They're reluctant to bring it out because they're usually spending quite a bit of money on that cartridge. And so what I'm here to show you is that it can be so cheap that you'll end up being the guy that whips it out and say, hey, you know what, let's get this done and move on. And so that all comes down to buying your CO2 at Walmart, okay? And what this is for BB guns, right? And here's the key to using this, okay? I'm going to introduce you to my preferred dispenser here in a minute. And by the way, this is only two that I've owned in 10 years. And this one's only a year old. So basically one lasted me 9 years. I'll get to that in a minute. But you got to be using this stuff from Walmart, okay? And what it is, or wherever you can buy CO2 cartridges for BB guns, okay? And I'll just go over that real quick. This is what the box, last time I was there, this is what the box size, 15, and style looked like. I'm pretty sure the brand is the same, this Crossman here, or whatever. But just look for somewhere that you can get BB gun CO2 cartridges, yeah? And these are 12 grams. In my experience, it's all they have, at Walmart, 12 gram, or wherever you're gonna buy this BB gun stuff. And it's unthreaded, okay? Here's the other key, unthreaded. 12 gram unthreaded equals cheap, okay? Please remember that. 12 gram unthreaded equals cheap. So you don't have to worry about using it, And I'm not faulting anybody for hesitating to use their CO2 on somebody else or whatever. Because I think they're upwards of they're over $5, $6, $7 now, right? I mean, I don't even know. It's been so long since I've even considered buying one of those, because why would I, right? I just do it like this, and I've done it like this for a long time, okay? So again, 12 gram unthreaded is the key. you know, if you can find any of this, you know, in bulk, less expensive cartridge for another application or whatever, just please let me know, right? And I'm not trying to tell you that my way is always the best way or whatever, but in my experience, anybody I ever ride with, it's always the best way, right? So, but if any of you watch this and you go, hey, no, I got a better way, please let me know, because I'm always open for a better way. But in my 10 years of experience, I've been doing it like this a long time, and this is best. Okay, so now the dispenser, these are both the same. And again, seriously, I had this one for 9 years, and it recently, you know, about a year ago, I'm pretty sure it was leaking, you know, out from that needle there where it punctures the top of the cartridge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was leaking out of there, but it started leaking out the sides, you know, so it would still work, but it was just annoying, right? So it was time to replace. Yeah. And so I actually ordered this one directly from the company. Okay, this is what it's going to look like now. Okay, but remember this. Okay, it's an Ultraflate Plus by, it doesn't say it on here, but the company is called Ultimate Innovations. Yeah, something like that, Ultimate Innovations. But just search for this Ultraflate Plus, and this one will come up now. This is what it looks like now. Let me go over this real quick, because this is important. So the reason people get so excited about, you know, the expensive CO2 is that it's going to be threaded, and you know, the dispenser is going to be really small. And okay, that's fine, it's cute and everything, that's cute, but you know, it's expensive to run like that, right? So just get something like this, and there might be something else, I don't know. This is what I use, I like it, and I'm sticking with it until I find something better. But the cool thing with these inflators, and this is recently grown, right, for high volume road tires, or I guess mountain bike stuff now, or I have no idea. It doesn't concern me, other than it can keep running this, which is what I want. But the other cool thing is, you know, if you're out there and you have run out and somebody else has something different or whatever, these things will run everything. It runs everything, threaded, non-threaded, 12 gram. I think this is up into like the 25 gram territory now, or something like that. It used to be 12, just 12 and 16 is all that was available. But you know, due to its giant size here now, I guess it can go bigger. So what I'm doing, I'm still using this one. So this is the old one, this is the new one, because it's big, right? I don't need this huge thing, so I still use this one. Okay, now this is important. To run these, even in the old one, which is, as you can see, is a much smaller container, even to run this guy, right, I stick a penny in there, and this one obviously has seen its share of use, right? It's all concave and stuff from getting smashed down, but you got to stick a penny down in there to give it a little bit of loft, right? You want to see this tip here poking up at least into the threads. You know, I prefer it to be, you know, almost past them, or flush. Let's just call it flush with the top. Yeah. Now this guy obviously is going to take many more pennies, because if I put him in here raw, let's call it, you can see he's way down in there. Yeah, so you know, you're gonna have to stick a bunch of pennies in there or something, figure out something to shim that guy out so he comes up into that range, you know. And again, they don't tell you any of this in their instruction manual or whatever. I guess they just assume you're gonna figure it out or whatever. But shim that guy out so it's flush. Again, I run the old body with the new head, because this old head is broken, right? But originally it would have looked like that, you know. So just go find this Ultraflate, Ultraflate Plus by the Ultimate Innovations, right? And you'll see their logo. It's the one I like. If there's other ones, I don't know, but I like this one. I'm sticking to it. So let me show you how this guy works. And it's like this every time, right? Like, I don't even carry a hand pump anymore. I carry 2 of these and this guy, and that's it. And I know it's gonna work every time. There's no reason why it wouldn't, you know. This thing has a kind of annoying feature that I don't really use. This lock right here, you can lock the dispensing tab. I don't ever use that. Okay, so yeah, again, you know, some in there with your shim. Oh, and I carry it around like that, about in that range right there, you know. Okay, so let's imagine we've had a flat, right? So here I have my tire all ready to go. You know, let's say I've just changed the tube and everything. Here's how you do this each time, every time, all the time, and it just works, right? There's no reason it wouldn't work, right? So you screw your guy on to activate him. Valve stem up, make sure it's open, and then, you know, I start with small squirts, because if part of the tube is sticking out the side, you'll avoid the blowout. Yeah. So I start with small squirts to get it started, and then I just go ahead and dump it. I actually don't use, I had not an argument, but I had a discussion with a guy today that I don't dump a full 12 grams into my tube, because a full 12 is a little bit too hard for me, right? So I go just a little bit off that. And I always just test my pressure with my hands. I know exactly, basically, what it is. If I'm out there, I know what I'm gonna like. Yeah. So, but to use this guy, right, just, you know, just hold it like this every time, right? And this hand on top is meant to keep the valve stem from being pushed away as you're trying to stick this guy on. Yeah. So hand on top, right, stick this guy on, and I hold it like this with the two fingers, right? So it would stay like that anyway. And then I try to take it off the ground, because a lot of the, you know, tube poking out the side will happen because, you know, you're holding this down or whatever. So, you know, I take it off the ground a little bit, and then I just start, you know, slowly putting it in, right? And making sure none of the tube is sticking out. And this thing, it's not going to do anything weird, right? Like, you can totally relax and just be confident that this thing's going to work all the time, every time. And then, you know, just keep inflating, right? And I can take this hand off and check my pressure. If it starts doing stuff like that, you know, you just don't have to worry about it, right? So that's somewhere I'd like it. And then, you know, you got to be pretty forceful when you pull this thing off, because it gets frozen on there. Yeah. So, you know, here's how I pull it off. You just straight down, you know, just pull it down. Yeah. And there's nothing weird about it, right? There's nothing that you need to stress about it. Yeah. And again, that's how little concerned I am that I just used one for basically nothing, right? Because they're so cheap, right? I forget what the price is and everything. I mean, just go figure it out. Go figure it out. Yeah. Whether you can get them online now, sent to Hawaii, I'm not sure. I, again, walked in store for these a while ago, because at that time you couldn't order them online. And again, it's so rare that I get flats that, you know, these are still lasting quite a while. Because you can go watch my Michelin fanboy video if you want and find out why I like Michelins. Excuse me. But considering this thing is 10 years old, well, almost 9 on this one and a year on this one, and how much we do flat out here and how much I've lent it to other people and stuff, it's amazing to me how reliable they are, right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope it helped. And I'll put links here at the end, and you can go watch again, my thoughts on tires, tire pressures, changing tires. I haven't done a tire change on the road yet. Eventually I will, but I've done, you know, how I change my tires here at my house, and it's basically the same, right? So I hope this helps, right? So I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.